In this video I'm going to teach you how to do that particular piece of homework I've put on show my that particular task that I've put on show my homework. Okay, and I'm just going to do question 1 with you, and you should be able to do the others by yourselves, okay, because this is kind of like a straightforward example. Okay, right, first of all you need to understand what we are told or what we're given. Okay, the first thing we're told is we are given the graph of y equals x squared minus 4. And so here it is, and it's been drawn really accurately on a computer, and it's the graph of x squared minus 4. And we've been asked to solve these following 3 equations using this graph. Okay, but if you look at the 3 equations, they have no similarity. I mean, apart from the first one, there's not really much connection to x squared minus 4. So let's talk about how we actually use this graph to solve these 3 equations. Okay, right, so equation A, let me copy it here, x squared minus 2 equals 0. Now we're asked to solve this equation, but we're actually going to get an estimate for the answer. We're not going to get the exact answer, because when you solve things by the graphs and we're doing it by hand, it's an estimate. Okay, now first of all, if you look at this equation, what we're trying to do is somehow incorporate x squared minus 4 into this equation. So we need to kind of change this expression to make sure it has x squared minus 4 in it. Okay, so this one's dead simple. In order to change it, really, we just need to get this expression here to look like x squared minus 4. So all I need to do is take away 2, because minus 2 take away 2 is minus 4. But the rules of equations are, because these are equations, they equal something, whatever we do to one side we have to do to the other. So if I take minus 2 away from this side, I need to take minus 2 away from the other side as well. So the expression that I have is x squared minus 4 now equals minus 2. Okay, because I took away 2 from both sides. But you look at what we got here. We've got x squared minus 4, which is that. Okay, so we've got a copy of this, but on the other side we've got the number y equals minus 2. Now all we need to do is draw the graph of this right hand side here. Whatever's here, we need to draw the graph of that. We've already got the graph of this here, so we've already got the graph of x squared minus 4, or y equals x squared minus 4. That's this curve. We need to draw the graph of minus 2. So actually we need to draw the graph of y equals minus 2. Okay, so just to reiterate that one point, we've already got the graph of this side drawn. We just need to draw the graph of this other side here, which is minus 2, or y equals minus 2. So what does that look like? Well, y equals minus 2. First of all, if we go to the y-axis and we find minus 2, here's minus 2. We just need to draw a horizontal line through minus 2. Okay, and that's there, minus 2. And in order to solve this equation that we started with, we just need to look at both graphs and see where they cross each other, because that's what the equal sign means. Equals means this graph has to equal this graph. So where do they cross each other? Well, they cross each other here. And all I need to know is work out the x value. So I'm just going to go straight up and find that x value. So one of the answers, I mean, this is an estimate, so you're going to have to kind of do it on graph paper to get a better answer than what I'm getting, because I can't quite zoom in on that. One of the answers to this equation is roughly 1.75, possibly. Okay, you might get a better answer. Actually, it's not 1.75, is it? It's nowhere near that. What is that number there? So it's 1 point, probably 45 maybe. Okay, so 1.45 possibly. Okay, and the other solution is where it crosses here, but we just need the x answer, so that's probably negative 1.45. So these are 2 estimates for the answer to this equation. Okay, now that's how you do part A. You just need to make sure that one of the sides of the equation has this thing here. It looks like x squared minus 4. and then you just plot the graph of whatever is on the other side, and then you just see where they cross each other and then read off the x values. Okay, right, now let's do part B. Okay, so first of all, you always copy the question. Okay, now we need to change this left hand side so it looks like x squared minus 4. Okay, so we need to change the left hand side so it looks like x squared minus 4. Okay, so what do we do? Well, first of all, x squared minus 4, there is no x term on its own, so this minus x, I'm going to get rid of it. In order to get rid of it, I need to add an x, okay, because minus x add x is 0. But remember the rules of the equation, whatever you do to one side, you've got to do to the other. So I'm going to add the x over to this side here. So what I've got now is x squared minus x add x is 0, that goes, but I've still got the minus 1, that equals x, okay, because I added the x to the other side. Okay, now I'm almost there. I've got my x squared, but I need to get a minus 4. Okay, I've got a minus 1, so I need to take away an extra 3 to make sure it turns into minus 4. So minus 1, take away 3 is going to give me that minus 4, but whatever you do to one side, you've got to do to the other. So minus 3 is over here. I've got to take away 3 from the other side as well. So now I've got x squared minus 4 equals, and then on this side I've got x minus 3. Okay, so just to reiterate, one of the sides now looks like x squared minus 4. There it is. The other side though is x minus 3. Now all we need to do is draw the graph of the other side of this equation. I've already got the graph of that. I need to draw the graph of y equals x minus 3. Okay, so I need to draw the graph of this right hand side. Now what does the graph of y equals x minus 3 looks like? Okay, well, this is a straight line because it's mx plus c. Okay, so first of all, y equals x minus 3 is going to go through minus 3 on the y-axis because that's the intercept. Okay, remember that's the intercept, and it's got a gradient of 1. But let's actually plot the graph properly. Okay, so to plot the graph of y equals x minus 3, so we need to plot the graph of y equals x minus 3, and let's actually plot it properly, and let's put some numbers in. Let's put x equals 1 in. If we put 1 in, we get y equals minus 2, because 1 take away 3 is minus 2. So 1, x equals 1, y equals minus 2, so that's a coordinate that the graph's going to go through. Let's put another one in, x equals, let's put 2 in, so y equals minus 1, so that's here. And let's put one more in, x equals 3, y equals 0, so that's here. Okay, so we have got these kind of like coordinates that this graph is going to go through. Okay, remember, when you want to plot a graph, just sub in some x values and plot those points. Okay, so it looks something like, actually let me do it in red. Okay, so this is the graph of y equals x minus 3, is this straight line here. Okay, now all we need to do to solve this equation or find an estimate to this equation is draw the graph of this, which we've done, and then find out where those two graphs cross each other. Well, they cross each other here, so I'm going to go straight up. Now this is really rough estimate, this is not very good because I can't zoom in on this. So one of the answers is x equals roughly probably 1.6. Okay, that looks like 1.6 to me, but you might get a better answer. And the other answer is, okay, let me do it with a ruler. It's probably minus 0.6. Okay, so the answer to this equation using this graph is those two answers here, roughly. Okay, And remember, all we needed to do was rearrange it and then draw this extra graph, which is the right hand side of the equation. Okay, now let's do the last one. Okay, so we're asked to solve this equation. Oops. Okay, so we're asked to solve this equation, but using this graph. Okay, so x squared plus 2x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so this is the equation we're asked to solve. Always copy that first. Okay, now first of all, we need to make the left-hand side, so we need to make this left-hand side turn into x squared minus 4. Okay, right. So first of all, we've already got our x squared, so that's done. Okay, x squared minus 4 doesn't have an x term, so we need to get rid of this middle term. Okay, because it's plus 2x, I'm going to take away 2x. Because 2x take away 2x is 0, so I want to cancel it out. But whatever I do to one side, I've got to do to the other, so I'm going to take away 2x from the other side as well. So I've got x squared. 2x take away 2x is gone now, because that's 0, so there you go. But I'm left with minus 2, and that equals minus 2x. Okay, now, so I've got this now. I need to get a minus 4. I've got a minus 2, so I need to take away an extra 2 to turn it into minus 4. But whatever you do to one side, you've got to do to the other, so minus 2 the other side as well. Okay, so now I've got x squared minus 4 equals minus 2x, take away 2. Okay, so look at what we've got. We've got the x squared minus 4, which is what we need because we've got that graph. Now I need to draw the graph of the other side. Okay, so I need to draw the graph of, let me just draw this out. Okay, so I need to draw the graph of the other side of the equation, y equals minus 2x minus 2. Okay, now in order to do that, I'm just going to sub in some numbers. Okay, so actually first of all, this is a straight line graph. Its intercept is minus 2, so I'm going to plot that point first of all. It's going to go through minus 2 on the y-axis. It's got a gradient of negative 2, but let's actually put some numbers in. Okay, so x equals, let's put, I don't know, 1 in. So what does y equal? Okay, so if I put 1 into the equation, minus 2 times 1 is minus 2, take away 2 is minus 4. Let's put another in, x equals, actually let's put x equals negative 1 in, so y equals, okay, minus 2 times minus 1 is positive 2, take away 2 is 0. Okay, so 1 minus 4 is here, and then minus 1, 0 is here. Okay, so let me draw a nice line through these three coordinates. Okay. Right, now all we need to do in order to solve this equation is find out where these two graphs cross each other. Okay, so they cross each other here, and I'm just going to read off that x value. So one of the answers to this equation is, it looks like it's 0.75 roughly. Okay, 0.75. The other one is over here, so let's read that one off. Okay, let me do it a bit better. Okay, these are rough estimates, so they're not very good. So you might get better answers. The other answer is x equals minus 2.75. Looks like that to me. Okay, now just remember what you're doing. Because you've got the graph of this equation, you need to modify all of these equations so they all have that on one side. Okay, and then whatever it's equal to on the other side, you just draw the graph of y equals that. Okay, so once you've modified these, draw the graph of whatever's on the other side. Okay, and where those two, so that might be something like this. Okay, and then where this graph and this line cross each other, you just got to read off the x values. You just kind of look at the intersection point, go down to the x-axis, and that's one answer, and then go across and then find the other one and then go up, and that's the other answer. Okay, so that's how you solve these two equations graphically. Okay, and it's a bit of a tricky skill. It's not quite easy, but that's how you do that question number 1. Okay, do question number 2 is very, very similar. You just got to modify each equation so it looks like the one at the top. So it looks like that one, and then literally whatever is on the other side, draw the graph of that equation, and then plot it on top of the other one and see where they cross. Okay, and if you're still finding it tricky, what I'll do is I'll try and get like a Zoom lesson going where you can sort of watch kind of in action. Okay, thank you for watching. If you're still stuck, email me.